Hello, you're listening to Reviewing History, your comedy history podcast. I'm filmmaker and teacher Brian Rupert, joined here by...
Hi, it's me.
Who's me? People may not know.
It's Anthony Goliath.
As always, Stephen Dagliaco. And quick question before we begin, because the listeners don't really see or hear this.
I may leave that shit in.
I really want you
rolling.
to leave it in. Yeah. What did you do? Because you have a lot of notes on your phone sometimes.
I thought I deleted all my notes, but I didn't. It's a false alarm.
Oh, okay. False alarm.
It was like,
okay.
What's that clip?
We're like, let's go. And he goes, oh, shit. And we just look like, what'd you do?
It was like, do you know that clip of the lady? She's like, what the fuck was that?
Yes.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, who was that again?
That was, she was a newscaster on like Fox Local News here in New York in like 2007. And why do we both know what that is right off the bat? Like, I knew what you were talking about immediately.
Well, your brother and you had compiled a list.
Well, that's right.
Of
Sound effects.
random
Yes.
clips
Yeah.
of just random noises and clips and snippets
Pop
of things,
culture.
like 1 to 3 seconds long.
Yeah.
Like
One of
it's
them was-
garbage day.
That's right, yes.
Garbage day.
And one of them.
One of them was, what the fuck are you doing?
So we would be in your basement listening to music, and a song would play, and then the next thing would just be ba-da-ba-dum, ba-dum, bum, bum.
Or like shit flying in my mouth.
Yeah.
Who else saw the leprechaun?
Country ass fucked up town.
And it would just be a random clip
Yeah.
like that. We would laugh, and
Yeah.
then the next song
I
would
still
start.
have the whole list.
Wasn't there?
Do you?
Yeah, it's on my computer.
Wasn't
At home.
there a James Hetfield growl?
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, like a song would play, the next thing would just be that, and then another song.
I play it every so often.
Yeah?
Yeah, the whole list.
The whole list, just to refresh yourselves.
Yes, I love them.
Bill O'Reilly was on that.
Yes.
Yes, we'll do it
We'll
live.
do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
So many things from that list, I hear, and it just brings me right back to your basement
Hanging out,
in
yeah.
2007.
Yeah.
So, the movie. What are
The
we doing
movie.
today?
We are doing a movie that Steve loves, begged us all to watch, called JFK.
Oliver Stone.
I definitely begged. I was like, I need JFK in my life. I need a almost 3.5 hour movie in my life.
This was your pick, wasn't it, Brain?
It was like one of those things where we discussed what we should do, and I was like, this is coming out the day after the day of the shooting.
Oh.
This episode, so I was like,
Oh, that makes a lot
it
more
makes sense to do it.
November. We should know this. We're gonna talk about it.
11/22/63.
63.
And this episode is going to drop on the 23rd.
Aha.
So,
Oh, that's interesting.
so it'll be fresh in people's minds.
Yes, the anniversary of the president's death. Oh, it'll actually be a big round number anniversary. So what is it?
No, it's going to be the
63-23.
It's good. Yeah, next year. We're a year.
Oh, you're right. It's the
yeah.
20.
That's all right.
Holy shit.
Maybe we should put this away for a year. We'll re-release it with special effects next year.
It would have been the 60. It's the 59th anniversary.
Yeah, which is the one that really matters.
Right.
Special.
Yes.
It's a special anniversary. It's JFK, 1991.
So, have either of you guys had you seen the movie before?
I saw this when I was like 10 years old.
Okay.
It's one of my dad's favorite movies. He loves this movie, but I have not seen it since. And I believe on that first viewing, I slept through most of it.
It's one of your dad's favorites?
He loves this movie.
Okay. I have thoughts about this that
Some thoughts.
boomers love this movie.
Boomers do love this movie.
This is the boomer movie.
Boomer movie.
Is it because it resonates with them? Like it's close to home?
I think it's because they grew up in a time period so close to this.
Well, they're children.
They're children. And like hearing about this thing that changed America.
Right. It's like the 9/11 of the 60s.
Exactly. So it's such a big thing for them. And this is a movie just all about it and why it happened and all the mystery surrounding it, you
That's
know?
a good point.
And that's why they love it. And boomers fucking love this movie. That's why it made money.
Big money.
Big money. It even shouts out boomers at the end of the movie in the credits.
Yeah.
It's like, thank you, the young and shit.
Yeah.
What'd you think, Steve? Had you seen this before?
I have never seen this before.
You are an Oliver Stone fan, though.
So I believe the main Oliver Stone that I like is Natural Born Killers.
And you like Platoon, right?
Yeah, you're a big
I like
fan.
Platoon. I think that's a good one. I did not like this as much as either of those films. I actually kind of hated it.
You hated this movie.
I actually texted Brian and cursed him out because he forced me to watch this. Fucking stinks.
It doesn't stink.
It's a good movie.
It's a totally good movie, and the acting is tremendous in it.
The cast is insane.
It's
the
got
cast is
every
crazy.
actor in the world is in
The
this movie.
cast
Yes.
is crazy.
When John Candy popped up, I was like, "What?"
I was with my wife. I
that's
was like,
when you said
I
what?
thought I was going crazy. I went to my wife. I was like, "Is that John Candy?"
Walter Matthau.
Yeah.
The second I knew that this movie wasn't for me is when I saw Pesci.
You don't like?
You
Pesci?
hate Pesci?
You love Pesci.
No, I love Pesci. I love Pesci. I don't like Pesci with a crazy wig and eyebrows that are poorly done.
Joe Pesci may be the best part of this movie,
He's
along with
phenomenal.
Tommy Lee Jones.
They're
Yes.
phenomenal. They are amazing. But Pesci looks like a clown.
Yes, he's supposed to.
Yes.
He's
Yes,
like a
but if you
crazy
s-
guy.
if
You're
see
supposed
the-
to know it's a wig.
Yes, but if you see the picture of the guy, it's not that.
I actually think the faces are kind of similar.
I'll tell you,
The eyebrows are so thick and fake looking, it makes no sense. Like, it looks stupid.
this afternoon I watched some footage of some of the real guys, and Tommy Lee Jones' performance is perfect.
Well,
He looks like
Tommy
a guy.
Lee Jones is a,
He's
A-class
amazing.
actor,
He got his mannerisms down. You know who else is perfect? Fucking John Candy.
John Candy's
Really?
very good.
Yes.
Yes.
He mastered this guy.
Okay, see, I didn't look at footage of the real people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Apparently, because I looked into like a little bit about the filming and stuff, Tommy Lee Jones, like a bunch of the people met with Mr. Garrison, played by Kevin Costner, and he spoke to them about the
Jim.
real people.
I'm sure he did, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, this is his book.
It's based on his book and another book combined into one thing.
Right.
Because there's not really a narrative. And Oliver Stone, when he was making this, was really like, I don't want to focus on the life of Garrison. I want to focus on JFK.
Right.
He really wanted to do a documentary,
You can tell.
Yeah. of
but
course.
he had to disguise it as a narrative. And I think he did a good enough job to keep it compelling.
Yes.
Did you like this movie?
What's important in the movie are like the theories and facts
Yes.
and such, not the narrative.
Well, that's my AKA.
What is it?
That's JFK, AKA Exposition Express.
There is a lot of exposition.
The whole movie's exposition.
That's the movie. though.
That's the
That's
movie.
the point.
Yes, I know, but that's the movie.
You're watching a detective's investigation, basically. That's what it is.
Yeah, but there's times, which we'll get into, that I feel like they could have just showed something without having to go in depth of the explanation, because too many details sometimes actually takes away from the movie.
You can't follow it.
It's very difficult to follow.
Yeah.
You can walk away for
You
a
can
minute,
watch.
come
You
back
have
and
to
you don't know
watch
what's
this
happening.
several times to get everything. Like, we're going to talk about this right now. It's going to be surface level conversation.
Oh, yeah,
None of us know
sure.
enough
You know,
about this.
you know what? You know what the other thing is, though, right? We are a generation. We're 2 generations removed
Yes.
from the actual event. So the people that give a fuck about this in a big way, they know all this shit.
Yeah.
This is like what they're all about. It's so important to them.
There are, it's almost like buffs. There's JFK assassination buffs.
Yes.
Listen, here's what's important about this movie. It's not the movie. It
not.
is the spirit and themes of this movie have aged like a fine wine.
Yes. That's why it's great.
That's why it's important. That's why it's great.
The end speech from Kevin Costner, where he looks at the fucking
predicts the
audience,
future.
he breaks the fourth wall,
Right.
spikes the lens, and looks at the audience,
Yes.
and is like, "You must do something about this." And the movie was so successful, something was done about it.
Yes. I think obviously when the movie came out, when the events depicted in the movie happened in 63.
Yes.
If I made a statement in 1963 and said the American government does shady things that are not in the best interest of its own people, the vast majority of Americans, I'd say upwards of 90% would go, "That's crazy talk. You're an asshole."
That continues to this day.
No, it does not.
Yes, it does.
No, it's not. If I said that now, I'm going to say at least 85% of people would be like, yes, of course, that's true.
It depends which party's in office.
Well, I think left or right, Democrat, Republican, whatever, everyone would agree with that. That there are institutions in this country that are not interested in the best, interests of the American people and do covert shady things.
I agree with you, but I'm really more thinking of anti-war shit. And anytime people are anti-war, people there's a certain sect of people that really hate them and despise them.
Yeah. But it's not just war.
It's not just war, no. I know what you're talking about. You're talking about the CIA.
I'm talking about just the notion.
I want on the record, by the way, everyone on this podcast, we love the CIA.
Oh, love it.
We're big fans.
One of the best institutions ever
love
created.
the CIA.
Keep doing what you're doing, guys.
I love the FBI. IRS, I want to work for you. I love you so much.
I love the alphabet.
Yeah. Any
alphabet,
you give me
great. Give me a
3
letter.
letters, I'm in.
I never met a letter I didn't like.
Some people
They call
don't
him the
like-
postman. He loves the letters so much.
Some people don't like the TSA waiting those lines at the airport. I love it. I go to the airport to wait in those lines just to look at those agents and be like, yes, more of you. I need more of you.
When I get audited, I always give my auditor an extra 50, and I go,
you gotta.
"This is for the work you do."
Gotta.
Yeah.
You say thank you.
Little something for you.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll give an extra 50 to the government.
Take your wife out.
Here's
have a
another.
nice dinner. On me. On the American taxpayer. But yeah, like I was saying, I think most Americans would agree that sometimes things aren't always on the up and up.
Sometimes.
Right? That's an
easy thing to say.
It sounds like an inflammatory thing, but I think it's so accepted, it's not. And I think a lot of the reason, at least in the modern times, that is somewhat acceptable thing to say is because of this movie and the impact of
Or
it.
because maybe not the movie, but just the situation.
Well, the situations,
not the movie. I don't think the
but
movie.
the movie did a lot to amplify that way of
It
thinking.
brings it to the mainstream.
Look, guys that never would have thought twice about the Kennedy assassination looked into it and read tons of books about it because of this movie.
Okay.
Yeah,
They
that
write
makes sense.
hours and hours of documents, and you know.
And then got into other things, whether they be the Oklahoma City bombing or fucking 9/11.
Philadelphia fucking
or
launching missiles at their citizens.
Every incident that has happened in the last 50, 60 years has been, pawed over by people.
Yeah.
You know?
Makes sense.
And people will call them conspiracy theorists or all this shit. Yeah. And maybe they are, but they are looking into things.
I saw a really good bit on the internet about conspiracy theories where they said, I don't trust anybody that doesn't believe in one conspiracy theory because that's such a strong stance to take. And he's just like, you think the government's just batting 1,000? He goes, I have one son and I lie to him all the time. The government's in control of 300 million people. You think they don't lie once?
Right.
Some conspiracies are based on fact, and this is kind of, I guess, as you said, this movie brought that to light.
Yes.
More so than, anything else, any other media at the time.
I think so.
Right.
And there's real world ramifications of the film.
Yes.
Like you were about to say it, so go ahead.
So after this movie is done, it creates such an obsession and a demand where people demand the government to see hidden files about this. And the government released tons and tons of files, big impact after the movie.
In 2017.
Well, they did it in the 90s too. They and they passed.
They declassified.
They declassified stuff. They have the John F. Kennedy Act where they're going to declassify things after a certain amount of time. And then when Donald Trump was president, he had the ability to declassify everything, and he declassified most stuff. There's still some stuff that is not declassified, and I believe 2030 that all comes to light.
Okay.
But I'm not sure.
Yeah, 2030.
So-
I think they said it actually in the end of the movie.
We're getting there.
We're getting there, which I'm sure. I honestly don't think anything's going to come from it.
nothing's gonna come.
Anything important got shredded, but I would love to see. And then look, I'm not going to read.
So
any
are
of
you
this.
willing to take a stand? Just from your last statement, it sounds like you are a guy who thinks their official story isn't on the up and up.
No, I was actually going to ask everybody what their thoughts are on how it happened, and I will tell you my personal belief. My personal belief is that this was not an official CIA operation. I believe
There's
that
a rogue element.
I believe you had rogue communist elements of people inside the American government at that time, including places like the CIA, and those people acted with Lee Harvey Oswald, who was an ardent communist, in order to put out the hit on Kennedy. And the reason this was kept from the American public was because they knew that it would be such a giant win for the communists that they took out an American president, and the blood demand for the American public would be insatiable, and you would have to do something warlike. And I believe that's the reason it was kept hidden.
So you think Lee Harvey Oswald did in fact shoot the president?
He shot him.
At least he was
From the book
one of
depository.
them. At least he was one of
There
them.
were other shooters, and he definitely took the fall, but I believe it wasn't like an official
I
government
don't think he
thing.
got the kill shot.
I don't know.
I think he was the so
He didn't act alone.
no,
But I don't think this was like Lyndon Johnson behind it, which the movie kind of
No,
leads
that's
you to
stupid.
believe. That's my personal theory.
my theory kind of coincides with yours.
What do you think, Ant, of my theory?
I don't see why communists would kill him. The man was known to be soft on communism.
I have
He
a
was-
good theory
Well,
too.
he was a cold warrior. He was a little soft on commies, but at the same time, that all that Cuba shit was happening. Lee Harvey Oswald was an
yeah,
ardent
but
communist.
do you want to get into the Bay of Pigs?
Well, we'll get it. Well, when we start the movie.
Okay.
I'll say one thing before
I
you
think
look
the
at this,
movie's narrative is far more believable than that.
Okay.
I'll say one thing that I think is overlooked: the competence of the CIA.
Do you think they're incompetent?
No, I think that in order for the average person to see the fallacies behind this, it requires a lot of incompetence in planning. The narrative that was put out was clearly had a lot of holes in it because they couldn't figure out, like you said, the exact plan. So they went with whatever was the easiest to say. Because I think if you have real CIA members trying to kill someone and make it look like one person did it, there's a lot easier ways.
The CIA,
You know what I mean? Like they wouldn't have got caught.
without a doubt, did regime change shit
In other
in
places.
other places
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
successfully.
Without getting caught.
They killed Noam Diem. We all know that.
But without getting caught.
But we know if we know about it, doesn't I listen? I don't know the details about how
Well, once stuff gets
that
declassified.
story
and-
got out
yeah.
and everything. But I think these people do jobs and they know how to do these jobs, and whether or not they did it or not, we're not going to decide at this fucking table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I
Look,
think it's possible.
So you are more of the side that the movie
I think the movie
is probably right.
close to some level of accuracy.
Okay. That's fine. Look, no one here fucking knows.
Yeah.
So
Oh, we'll get into we'll talk about the inconsistencies.
It's obviously
We'll
an
talk about
inflammatory movie. It's essentially calling the various
American
agencies of the government to be
Correct.
in control, and the American people have no will.
Yes.
Have no say in their own government.
which Kevin Costner, warns us about at the end.
Right.
Yeah.
Brian handed me his notebook, and I have his
did.
doodle here.
He did.
And we have.
I see it from here.
I recognize a car,
It looks
Okay.
like the
Okay.
Pope-mobile.
almost Flintstones like in its design. The car. There is a man in the back seat. I'm going to assume that is John F. Kennedy.
It is.
There is in front of him a ladder, which has another man standing at the top of it, like almost in a treehouse type situation, like a platform.
Oh
Yeah, yeah.
no, the car's actually going the other direction.
Oh, he's behind him.
He's behind them.
Okay. And the man has a megaphone, and he is shouting energy out of the megaphone, and looks like a sparrow is heading towards the president. Some sort of bird, some sort of small bird has come out of the megaphone and has come and is going to get him. Right?
All right, I'll take a look.
You think that's a megaphone?
That's not a megaphone?
No, that's the gun blast.
That's
So-
a megaphone.
This could also be argued that it is a person holding a megaphone shouting. It could be argued that it's a mythical figure with a bow tie. It could, and it definitely could be goggles or glasses of some sort. Like it.
car.
Yeah, the car could be. I I know what he's going for. You could tell based on, but if you didn't tell me like what the movie was, if I didn't know and it was like, what is this? Those would be my guesses.
All right. Well, I guess let's get into the film, right?
All right.
It begins with Eisenhower's. Oh, by the way, I should just say I watched the director's cut,
Okay.
so I don't know if I saw like different things you guys didn't.
You saw a different thing.
Yeah, you watched
My
different-
movie started with Eisenhower's farewell speech about the military-industrial complex.
Was there also
Yes, that's in ours.
a clip of Ella Wheeler Wilcox's poem?
Yes.
And do you know what poem she wrote?
No.
Solitude.
What's solitude?
Do you remember Old Boy? Laugh and the world laughs with
Yeah.
you. Weep and you weep alone. Yeah, it's that poem.
When you're laughing, when you're smiling.
When you
No, it is
smile.
different. No, it's a great poem.
Yeah, so we get a bunch of like old speeches and archival footage, kind of just showing where we're at.
Yes, the 60s.
It's
The terrible, terrible 60s.
It's setting everything up, and we find out that John Williams did the score.
Oh, did he?
Yep.
The music's completely irrelevant.
I think it works.
This might be one of the worst like audios I've probably ever heard in a film.
No.
There's
Dude, are you
dramatic
kidding me?
music where it doesn't belong.
Yeah.
I did
It's too loud.
I did actually notice the music at
Yeah.
one point, and it's like this doesn't fit.
It's so loud that sometimes you can't hear what they're saying.
Oh, I didn't have that experience at all.
You like the soundtrack?
I thought the music was
Really?
pretty good and pretty swelling. And we find out the DP is Robert Richardson, one of the best.
Is he?
Yeah, he actually won an Oscar for this, I believe. And
Yes, it did win for best
cinematography
yes, and best editing.
and best editing. Yep.
Wow.
It was nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor in a Supporting Role.
What won 91?
Wow.
91. Well, this actually would have been 92.
Oh.
This came out
Is
in
that
91.
Pulp Fiction?
91 is Dances with Wolves. This is the year.
The
after.
year of cost. Dance with Wolves is a better movie though.
Oh, totally.
So,
Can't stop the cost.
This lost to Silence of the Lambs.
No, that was 95.
No, I'm telling you, I'm looking right now.
All right, if you say so. I ain't gonna fucking dispute you.
Yeah.
Gonna go Operation Mongoose on me.
this is why we don't have like presidential parade stuff anymore, right? Because I feel like if we did, we would have lost a lot more.
They still do presidential parades.
Presidents-
They
Like
just don't go in convertibles.
When was the last time we had a president that people actually like wanted to go see?
Right. Like I feel like more would die if they did this.
Maybe Trump, maybe Reagan.
Come on, man.
People liked Bill too, and Barack. Oh yeah,
They go into stadiums, but
I'm
they don't
being-
drive around like waving out their car. They go in the limo that's like
I know. Every time the
Bulletproof,
president
you know?
comes to New York, Manhattan is just in lockdown, and you can't get anywhere near
exactly yeah.
where they are.
That's just a necessity, I think, after,
After this.
9/11 and things like this.
Yeah.
This is when Joe was the vice president. He walked past me.
Did he sniff you?
He did not sniff me. But like the place I was at went into fucking lockdown, and like Secret Service dudes just like shoved me and like, you can't move. You need to stand here until he passes. And I got stuck there for like 10 minutes.
Did I ever tell you when I met Bill Clinton?
Go ahead.
So
Were you working in his office and
I was an intern. This was 1996. I was 9 years old.
just looking to
I was wearing
move
a
up in politics?
green dress that was too big for me. And I spilt milk all over myself. All over me and my clothes. No, so the way I met him was I was actually a child actor. Not many people know this. And when I
That's
was
why he's so fucked up.
yeah. When I was child acting, I got a gig to go work on this island
Of Dr. Moreau.
and shoot pictures.
With Epstein.
So I went to this Epstein and I starred in some movies, and the president was in them. No. So the way I really met him was my father was a big Democrat. Like anytime a Democrat was campaigning on Staten Island, my father was working for them. So,
But he like volunteer?
he would volunteer to work in their offices and shit. And like he would help them out.
He's that guy.
Yeah, and like he would
Yep.
and he would make me go to like rallies with him and hold signs up, and
Oh
I'm
my
a kid.
God. It's you.
And like I had to go to all these rallies. And there was
Poor
one
soul.
we went to in 96, and Bill Clinton came.
Was that the election year? Like against Bob Dole? Was that 96?
Maybe it was 97. He
don't
was
remember.
he was president whenever it was. And I remember he went and he was walking by and he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" He's shaking hands and stuff. And I stick
Here
my
comes
hand
the
out.
young cherub like Brian.
Yeah.
Did he pick you up and kiss you on the cheek?
Yeah.
He's
Thank
like,
you.
He's like,
Oh, sweet little baby.
"Have you met my daughter Chelsea? How would you like to get into the family?"
She's
No.
much older than you, Brian.
Yeah, I know.
You would have been like Anakin and Padme.
It worked for them.
You will try. I hate you.
You turned against me. Yelling at Beaver.
No, Brian.
You've done that yourself.
You were the chosen one.
No, so he's just going by, and I shook his hand, and I was very excited to meet the president. I was
Of course.
jumping up and down.
Yeah.
Have any of you guys met a prez?
No.
No. How close were you to Joe?
He walked by, he was about 20 feet away.
Okay, so you've been in the same room with a president.
Yes.
That's cool.
He was the vice, though, at the time.
But still, it's still cool to say you've encountered a president. There's only 46. I had to think.
Good. Well done.
Yeah.
I've never met a president of the United States, but I've met presidents of other countries.
Really?
Yeah.
Dignitaries.
Like African presidents that would stop by the stock exchange and shit.
So you might as well have met a fucking
Yeah.
guy on the side.
It was like Coming to America president style. Like they walk to the office, they look around confused and like walk
What
out.
is this, velvet?
Ask you questions in like an accent. It's like, oh yeah.
So the movie,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's 3 shots, and JFK is dead.
Which going into this, I never saw it before. I didn't know much about it, and I assumed it was about JFK's life up to the assassination. So when that happened, I was just
You
like,
didn't know what
no,
this movie
I didn't know what
was?
the movie was really about. And I was very confused, and I'm like, oh, wait, this is not about his life.
Oh, so
Did you think we were going to get PT 109?
I just thought it was about his life, and then leading up to it and why it might have happened.
Steve
I'm
thought
like, oh,
the
yeah.
movie's gonna end where he's gonna be like, "It's a good day, Jackie. I'm excited for this parade. Let's get in the car.
Let's go to
Yeah,
Dallas.
yeah.
Yeah."
And I'm like, oh, wow,
The
no.
movie ends with them getting in the car.
Jack, we're approaching Dealey Plaza.
I probably would have liked
boy.
it better.
I've heard it's beautiful here. I can't wait to see the lights and
then,
the
like,
displays.
he gets killed, and then Costa's in a bar. Oh, I'm ashamed to be an American. And I'm like, what is happening? I'm like, why is Costner here?
You guys know about PT 109? It's a very cool story.
That's when Kennedy was in the Navy, I believe, right?
He was. From what I understand, before he was in World War II, he was actually in naval intelligence. He joined the Navy at World War II, the Japanese, going crazy. So he got put on this thing called PT 109. These PT boats are like raiding vessels. So you had like a team of guys, and they'd go and they'd attack like supply ships and stuff like that and raid them.
Shantytown villages and stuff, and just burn them down.
No. This is on the sea.
He's a naval
Oh, it's on the
man.
sea.
It's
Okay.
on the sea. And a Japanese torpedo boat kind of got them in his sights and split his ship in half. And he's got the crews are small. They're only like a couple of guys. And
Still scary.
he was the captain, and he managed to, while in the water, swim around, gather up like a bunch of his crewmen, save their lives, and like hang out on the wreckage. And as it went down, he realized that the closest, like the only hope of salvation was an island that was about 3 miles away. So there was a guy who was wounded, couldn't swim, and he's wearing a life vest. And he takes the guy was fucked. He was going to die. He takes the guy's life vest, cuts like a rope that was on it off, puts it in his teeth, and swims all the way to this island with the guys. And he saves everybody. And they hang out on this island for like a week before they're stranded on a desert island for a week until they finally got rescued. But guy's a fucking war hero.
That's
Yeah.
heroic.
And that's
yeah.
what ended up, like that whole experience is what ended up permanently fucking up his back. Like,
Yeah,
he wore a
I've
back
heard that.
brace his whole life.
Yeah.
See,
He
I
had
would
a
have
messed
liked
up
to see
back.
that.
There's a movie, PT 109.
Oh, there is.
Yes.
Yeah. Why didn't you pick that? Fuck you guys.
So we wanted to talk about how he died.
Yeah.
And Steve was like, "No, Let's talk about how he lived.
I'm the last samurai.
This island, it could really use someone like Mimi Beardsley. Who the fuck is that? Eventually, people will know.
Mimi Beardsley. What a class act. Take care of my little brother. You want to talk about Mimi Beardsley?
Not really. They can look it up if they want to. That's one for the that's a deep cut for the history folks. So Costner, like you said, he goes down to the office, to the bar. Yeah. Everyone's watching the events on TV. Mm-hmm. There's a racist 60s man.
You got mixed reviews about the situation. Some people are happy. Some people are really sad.
Yes.
And Costner is just upset that he's American at this point. And I said, oh, yeah, okay. Oh, please. Oh, please. He's not upset to be American at that point.
I mean,
that's just that.
This is a traumatic event, Steve. I don't know if you know this.
It is, but I feel like in a position, he was a governor or attorney general?
He was the district attorney of New Orleans.
Yeah, he's still got a good job for America. He's still got America by his side, kind of like. I feel like that's not like I don't know.
Someone assassinated the president, and keep in mind,
a beloved president,
and
too.
also,
yeah,
this is what I was talking about before. Steve could give a fuck.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Because that is the mentality of the average American.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know, we've lost it all. We've lost all of the mystery. You know, that's the wrong word.
No.
But like the
passion,
national pride. Like you see the elites as like pieces of shit that don't care about you and you don't care about them.
Well, not all of them.
Just the ones I disagree with.
Yeah.
No. I think you're reading into that.
Look,
maybe I said it incorrectly, but I feel like somebody in a position like that isn't like your first idea isn't, wow, I'm really sad that what did he actually say? He said, I'm ashamed to be an American today. And you don't know who killed the person, even though people are happy whether he's dead or not. I don't feel like that's a line that is believable. Mm-hmm. Like, what made you feel ashamed? You know nothing about what just happened. Yeah, it's tragedy, but why?
You know
ashamed?
The president was shot.
Yeah, but like I feel like right at the beginning I was like, yeah, that's not really believable.
Compare
to me.
it to more modern shit. I think it's safe to say that most of the people listening either had a love affair with the last president or the one before him.
Yes.
You know? And if one or the other got killed, chances are if you were the guy who liked the other one, you really don't care that this one got killed.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
Right?
The country is so different now where JFK dies, and let's say 90% of the country is upset that the president is dead. Mm-hmm. Whether they
liked him or not.
You always are going to have a subsect of people that hate him and stuff.
And this is the whole thing.
But
it's
now,
the loss of innocence.
But now we have people where I don't care if the president gets shot as long as it's the president I agree with. Exactly. If it's the other guy, fuck him.
Sure,
that's the new American mentality.
But that's not why I think he that's not why I said this is not a believable thing. It's just you don't immediately go to I'm ashamed at America because it's happened.
Because America killed him.
But I think the first reaction somebody in his position, he's the district attorney, would be like, oh my God, I have to get back and figure out what just happened.
Which is immediately what he does.
Which he does, but he sits there ashamed at the people around him, and it's like,
it's
what
not
are you
at the
ashamed
people
of?
around him.
It was.
He's ashamed that the society killed this man.
Maybe I read into it wrong then.
And even if let's say it was a foreign agent, because it's still not known at the time.
Yeah.
It's the fact that they were able to get to the president.
Yes.
The most powerful man in the country was taken down. Mm-hmm. I could understand someone feeling that way after 9/11, that our securities and everything failed and caused this to happen. Mm-hmm. I don't agree with that. Like, I feel
that was very quickly and
identified who did it.
Yes.
It's hard to find similarity between the JFK assassination and another event in our lifetimes.
No, it's not.
Which one?
9/11. You just did it.
Yeah.
But that was clear. Like, nobody sitting there in America was like, they deserved it. Not really. Like,
really?
Do you really think that existed in 9/11? I feel like that was a
Yes.
universal
Yes.
thing where people, not in America, people were like, thank
Yes.
God,
Yes.
thousands of people
Almost
died.
immediately, there was certain groups of people that were like, we did this to ourselves. You know, it's like
It's
maybe.
blowback. Yes.
Maybe.
you know,
That
there's-
shit, that
there's
happened.
Opinions all over the place with all of these types of events.
So, all right, if we could use that,
I think there was a much more uniform idealism of the 1960s, of the early 1960s, anyway.
You're coming off the 50s.
Right.
and you think people like at higher positions would have been like, I feel ashamed right now. Like, I feel like that wasn't the immediate reaction. I just don't believe it. That's me. We can move on, but I feel
mean-
like ashamed is not the correct feeling that he would have had.
Yeah, shame is what you feel after you watch dirty porn in the bathroom while your wife's
exactly.
asleep.
Exactly. Good point.
Oh, the trannies, I can't quit you. I'm coming, babe. Oh, I'm so ashamed of myself. And my
It was a weird route.
Look, I had to throw a joke in. We're talking about 9/11. Jesus Christ. We needed a joke. I had to pull the emergency cord.
I like trannies.
Trannies, yeah.
Where does the movie go? Oh, they arrest Joe Pesci.
Well, before that.
Oh, Jack Lemmon gets
Before
beat
that,
up.
there's a weird
W. Guy
situation.
Bannister, Ed Asner, is an FBI agent, and he beats Jack Lemmon.
He's not an FBI agent.
Yeah,
He's
he's a private eye. He was
Yeah.
an ex-FBI
Right,
agent.
Yeah.
You're going through my files.
Yes, he's drunk.
Give me the leads.
Yeah, give me the Glengarry. Jack Lemmon just eating mints or whatever.
Every time I go on Ed's computer when he's not looking and he sees me, that's what he said to me and beats me up.
That's right.
What's your name?
You're going through my files.
Fuck you.
You,
That's
that's
my
my
name.
Jack Lemmon is so great.
He's a great actor.
As somebody who's so out of touch with these events, I was very confused at what was happening at this point.
This is weird. The Guy Bannister stuff is a little confusing.
This movie was very, very weird to go this way this quick.
Well, he was in on it. You know, Ed
Yeah,
Asner.
it made sense
Yeah.
later. Yeah.
Ed Asner was part of training like militias, Cuban militias.
yeah.
Yes.
And Jack Lemmon was kind of just there hanging out. And then Jack Lemmon is the guy who eventually reveals
Things to
things
Costner.
to Costner, right? But we don't understand any of that at the
Yeah,
moment.
you don't know.
Yeah.
So then we get an Oswald press conference where he's talking about
He's a patsy.
he's
Gary
a patsy.
Oldman.
Gary Oldman. I didn't realize it was him at
Well,
first.
he's the chameleon of Hollywood, right?
Yeah,
he
he's such a good
disappears
actor.
into every role. You know, he was Zorg.
Yeah.
Emmanuel
I should have known it was him when they asked him, who put you up to this? And he said, everyone.
I
Good
don't know
one.
what that is.
Good one.
Yeah,
I got
you know,
it.
that was
Yeah, I
good,
got
right?
it, Yeah.
What was that?
The Professional.
Oh,
He screams that. It's like an iconic Gary Oldman
I
thing.
never saw that movie.
Kill everyone.
You never saw The Professional?
No, I don't even know what it's about.
It's really good.
What is it?
It's Luc Besson.
Oh,
Yeah. And
that's The Fifth Element.
your favorite French actor,
Jean Reno?
Jean Reno.
Ooh.
He's an assassin.
Oh, Leon.
Leon the Professional. Yeah. You've seen it, right?
No,
Okay.
Oh, you
but
gotta
I know
watch
the
that.
movie.
You gotta
Okay.
watch that.
Yeah, watch it. It's really good.
So we have this weird scene.
So we're introduced to Newman,
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wayne Knight,
Yes.
Dennis Nedry,
It's a cast. It's a fucking
right?
cast.
Michael Rucker.
Yes.
It's just
Young Michael Rooker.
Yeah, young
so many.
Yondu. He's saying, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Is this when Aunt Jackie shows up too? From Roseanne?
She shows up later.
a little bit later, but right now we get Costner smoking a pipe with no smoke, which they fixed later on because they realized he kept smoking it with no smoke.
Really?
I swear, I thought it because like every scene you see him puffing and nothing's happening, and then a couple of scenes later he puffs and you finally see the smoke. I'm like, they fixed it. They fixed it mid shoot.
Before we get any further,
Yes.
I want you to know that on the way here, Steve was telling me he doesn't like Kevin Costner.
This movie made me realize that I'm not that big of a Costner fan. Yeah,
You're off the show.
I want to like break his knees.
yeah, you
now.
can.
We
I think I made a good. You agreed with my argument.
No, you said he plays one character and it's Kevin Costner. And I said yes, and it's the best character ever.
You
I
agreed.
I
hate,
love Costner.
I hate Clint Eastwood. He's always stoic and awesome.
yeah.
Well, I mean, Costner's not stoic and awesome all the time. He's just there.
Costner.
He's just there.
Look, he does a bad accent in this, but who
Yes.
cares?
He's being
He's
Costner.
Costner.
Right.
He's a presence.
Listen, like
He is a presence.
you got Costner's, then you got like a Daniel Day-Lewis.
Look,
Costner's just not there.
Costner had
not
the
there.
good sense. He's like, I'm doing Robin Hood. I ain't even going to try to do a British accent because I'm going to humiliate myself.
Beautiful.
This Robin Hood, he's American.
That's right.
Which makes him the best Robin.
As you're going through, you're just reiterating my point. The two of you. He just
He's
plays the
awesome.
same person. It's like I don't even know if I could consider it acting. It's just him.
Do you remember when Robin Hood raided the liquor distillery in the post office?
Yes.
Do you remember?
In The Untouchables.
Yes. Do you remember when Elliot Ness went out west and met all those Indians and hung out with them and became like an Indian? That was awesome.
Do you remember when Garrison swam through the oceans after it overflooded the earth?
Yes. What about when the mutant waterman built a baseball diamond in the middle of his cornfield?
What about when the baseball farmer lived in a post-apocalyptic hellspace and rebuilt the United States through
With
the mail
Tom Petty.
service? With Tom Petty. Get the fuck out of here if you don't like cops. I will tell you a funny thing about Costner. Because when me and Aunt were younger and we would hang out and watch Costner movies, we would always order Chinese food for some reason.
That's absolutely right.
And I have a Pavlovian thing now where whenever I watch Costner shit, I need Chinese food.
Did you order some Chinese?
Yes.
Your orders were just as diverse as his characters. That's why you order Chinese food every time. You're like, oh, I recognize that guy. Kind of want Chinese food again because it's the same guy every time.
He's awesome.
Listen, I'm not gonna be like he's the worst thing ever and I hate him, but I'm not the.
Did you ever see
I'm
Wyatt
not
Earp?
as big of a fan as I thought I was. That's all.
I like Wyatt Earp.
Wyatt Earp's good.
Maybe it's just this movie.
I don't know. So then we find out that Lee Harvey Oswald is shot, and
Yeah.
there's the JFK funeral.
By the Jack Ruby.
Yep.
And then the office, they go, "This is crazy."
Funniest Simpsons joke ever. Marge and Homer decide they're going to solve the Kennedy assassination, and there's like a montage of them like going into like documents and stuff. And then Homer just pipes up and he goes, "I understand now. He was trying to steal the Jack Ruby." And then Marge goes, "Jack Ruby was a man, not a jewel."
That is funny.
That's good.
That's good.
I wish I could remember what episode
I don't know
that
when
is.
it was. I think it was in the 2000s when everybody hated the show.
So during COVID, I watched every single Simpsons episode.
Why?
It was COVID. I was like, you know what? I'm going to watch every single one.
How many are there?
Right now,
Yeah.
there's like almost 800.
So each episode's like what, 20 minutes?
22 minutes
20. How many hours did you watch The Simpsons?
constantly. My wife,
You can't get those minutes back.
I cherished every one. Even the later seasons, they get a bad rap because they're not as good as when it was amazing. It's still totally fine. It's a totally
Wow.
fine show.
Did you like the Lady Gaga episode?
Nah, that one wasn't that great. The one that came out like this past week, I really liked.
Oh, yeah?
They did a full
Still
pack.
You're still watching.
I'm currently watching. I'm back. Simpsons got me back.
I thought they would have been canceled years ago.
They'll never be canceled. In fact, when the current cast retires, I want them to keep going with new actors. I want the Simpsons to just
Forever.
play forever. Yeah.
They can't have that much viewership right now, right?
The ratings are still good.
Are they?
Yeah.
I mean, good enough to keep going, I guess.
It's all guys in their 40s.
And Brian.
And Brian.
Guys, I'm almost in my 40s.
That's true.
So I believe we get Pesci,
Yup, it's Pesci time.
which is one of the main reasons I disliked this movie.
What the
I don't
fuck is
know why.
wrong?
He looks ridiculous.
He's the best part of the movie.
He looks so stupid. He's a good actor in
He's
it,
supposed to look stupid.
but it's overly stupid.
Yeah, we went goose hunting.
His wig is like close to his eyebrows.
That's the point.
I know it's the point, but it
me
looks
ask you a
so
question.
dumb.
You didn't know he was in the movie before you turned it on. right?
No.
So when he came on screen, you didn't just go, "Oh fuck, it's Pesci. This is awesome."
What did I write? Oh my God, Pesci, laughing my ass off. The makeup, the wig.
You weren't happy
I would
about
have
this?
just rather had Pesci.
Apparently, you don't know why he's wearing the wig. A year earlier, he tried to break into the McAllister house, and he had his head lit on fire, you fucking idiot.
Yeah, really.
He's wearing a wig. Be more sensitive to Joe
I'm
Pesci.
a layman. He just looked insane.
He also killed Spider.
Remember when he did a
year earlier?
handstand and lowered his flaming head into the toilet bowl?
Incredible.
What an amazing athletic performance.
He does like back handsprings and shit. What's that sound? It's the sound
of a tool chest falling down the stairs.
So they interrogate Pesci a little bit.
Yes.
And he's following Goodfellas rules. Nah, I ain't seen nothing. I never saw no Lee Harvey Oswald.
All right.
Story
He
doesn't
went
make
goose
sense.
hunting in Houston.
I don't think your story adds up.
So
Simply not believable. That's what he
Great.
says.
Great.
So in this scene, there's a lot of split level lighting, which I've mentioned before in
You
Gladiator.
have.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you guys notice it when you were watching it?
No.
So split level lighting, for listeners that don't know.
Go to the back catalog, you lazy bones.
All right. No, real quick, it's when half a character's face is in shadow and the other half is visible. It's used to depict deceivious or duplicitous characters with ulterior motives.
Characters that have words made up about them, like deceivious.
Yes. Yes, exactly. Look, you may not have noticed it, but your brain did, to quote Red Letter Media.
I didn't notice it because I was just too focused on the eyebrows.
Oh, look, you were happy to see Pesci. I don't care.
I was happy to see
Yeah,
him.
all right, good.
He made the movie better. I'll
He
admit.
did. He did.
He makes every movie better.
Just
So
bad makeup.
we
choice.
see the boy pants salute, the classic thing of
Ah, yes, John.
John.
Yes.
What happened to those? Why'd they go out of style, the boy shorts like that?
He looks like he's wearing a skirt, doesn't it?
Yeah. Why did that go out of style? When
Because
did
they look
someone...
horrendous?
But it existed for like 60 years.
Really?
Yeah, like that was a thing in the early 1900s too. What made that go away? Like our parents never would have put us in that.
I can't think of anyone other than John wearing those, to be honest with you.
It was a popular fashion. Like if you
I'm
look
sure
it
it
up.
was, yeah. I just don't know enough about it. I can't really comment on this.
Okay.
Don't speculate. Cost of fabrics, whatever. Like,
I can't believe he just looked at me like and seriously
Expected
asked
it.
me like, why did this random child fashion from the '60s go out of style?
why
And
don't you
expected
know
me
about
to know
that?
it?
Why don't you know about 60s
You're
fashion?
the expert.
But you're an expert, Mar.
So Ferry is released, and it's 3 years later.
Yes.
And now Walter Matthau
He's a senator.
is a senator, and he hates Lee Harvey Oswald. He's a grumpy old man.
He certainly is.
He's
Wow, both of them are in this.
both grumpy old men. Oh, shit!
Everyone is in
realize
this.
that.
Everyone is in
Were
this.
they the odd couple also?
No, it's Felix and Oscar. That's Jack Klugman.
Oh, Klugman. You're right.
He's also Quincy.
But yeah, we get both grumpy old men.
Mm-hmm.
And Walter Matthau, he's ranting about when he had to stop a train in the Bronx.
Yes, that's right. Tell him 1, 2, 3.
And he's reminiscing about his days as a baseball coach when he was an alcoholic.
With children.
Yeah. And he hates Lee Harvey Oswald, but the person he hates the most
Who?
is Dennis. He's a fucking menace. He hates that Dennis.
Was Walter Matthau ever young?
He's one of those people where it's like
They're always 60.
like Wilford Brimley was like an old man from like 1975 until like 2020.
Yeah.
Like some people are just crystallized at an age forever.
Like, he was in Earthquake. No, Towering Inferno.
Okay.
And he's like, that's like 1974 or something like
Yeah.
that. He's already ancient. He plays like an old drunk in it.
What scene are we at?
So Walter Matthau doubts that Lee Harvey Oswald did the shot.
Right. Yes.
And now
He has. I like his line though about gathering up the 100 greatest riflemen in the world and figuring out which ones were in Dallas that day.
that's a good idea.
Good idea.
I also liked when he gathered up all the juggalos
And brought them to
They brought
Holden
them
Rock,
together.
Illinois.
yes, and they threw bags of shit at Tila Tequila.
And they ripped that one guy's nipple off.
Now, is this did we pass the scene where he wakes up at like 4:30 in the morning to incoherently rant about the shooting?
So right now, my next line is obsessed with JFK during dinner,
Yes.
where he keeps
Yes.
bringing it up.
Yeah. And they put him to bed, and he wakes up at 4:30 in the morning to rant about this.
There's an interesting character scene here where he's working diligently on his JFK papers,
Yes,
and his son is playing in the room with him, and the mother comes in, Sissy Spacek.
and she has her dirty pillows out all over. You guys haven't seen Carrie, have you?
No.
I mean,
In Carrie, her mother, because she's like going through puberty, so she has breasts,
His big fucking tits.
and her mother is like embarrassed by them, and she's like, "You have your dirty pillows out." And
Yeah.
she calls her breasts dirty pillows. I use that phrase all the time. I love it.
Yeah.
I thought you were just quoting Austin Powers.
Did you say that in Austin Powers?
Yeah, got stuck in your dirty pillows.
Oh, you're right. He does.
I thought he was quoting Austin Powers, not Carrie, for years.
Wow.
Till today.
What did you think when Kevin Costner just started dumping blood on her? Like, use your powers. You can't stop this. You can't stop this. When he was messing with Sissy Spacek.
That didn't happen.
Y'all remember
I
that scene?
No, I don't know
I must
where.
have missed that. I must have went to the bathroom.
Yeah. All I know is that he wakes up and he's ranting about this theory. Do you ever wake up and rant about theories? Do you ever just wake up and say birds aren't real? 4:30 in the morning and just shake your wife and just be like, I don't think they're real.
Okay. Do you do that?
Sometimes. She's like, the kid's got to get up in an hour.
So we see Lee Harvey Oswald handing out pamphlets, and the office is like right by the CIA.
Right. Well, this is when he's interviewing Jack Lemmon.
Jack
right?
Lemmon, yeah.
And he's telling him all about the Cubans and how they're coming in and out of that guy's office.
And Joe Pesci was running guns with them.
yeah. And I guess we should talk about the Bay of Pigs invasion.
It's time.
Okay. So, Castro.
America had a shortage of bacon and ham, and the holidays were coming up, and they were like, the Cubans got a lot. We got to invade that bay filled with pigs. And they went over, and they got all the pigs. And they brought them over, and that is why we have a fine supply.
If your country
of pork
called
today.
you to arms to gather pigs, would you take up arms for your country?
My country
to get
needs
those
me?
to get that bacon?
I'm getting the pigs. I'm
getting the
taking home
bacon?
the bacon.
Like the pig war.
Pig War, one of my favorites. Bay of Pigs.
Bay of You know, the last time I talked about a bay on this show was Calamita Bay,
Calamine lotion bay.
and you wouldn't let me talk about it. I have a sinking suspicion what's about to happen.
It wasn't part of the plan, but it may be now.
He did the bacon bit. It was good. So I have a feeling it's going to roll real hard with that.
Do you think that the pigs enjoyed like the sun on the bay? Like I could just imagine them all laying out like, hey, I'm getting a good tan. Oscar, you're looking a little dark. Meyer, you better roll over to your other side. Do you get it? The two pigs' names are
I
Oscar
got
and
it.
Meyer.
I got it, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you're a real Hebrew national.
Be careful saying that on mic.
That one's good. That can stay.
So the Cubans are becoming closer and closer to the Soviet Union. Castro's taken over the government along with Che and all kinds of revolutionaries.
Now that wasn't didn't the Americans support his coup at first?
I think before they realized he was a communist. Yeah. Well, they had like puppet governments in there, and
Well, the mafia was there.
the mafia was running the country.
Mo Green was there.
Mo Green was there eating his
banging
cake.
cocktail
Here's-
waitresses two at
here's
a
your
time.
Cake. Enjoy it. Johnny Ola showed me this place. So Castro comes in gets rid of Fredo.
Look what they did to my boy. Standing over Kennedy's body.
Yeah. And the CIA and the Americans want to do something about it. So the plan for this actually happened during the Eisenhower administration. And he approved it. And what they had done was got the sizable Cuban population in Florida.
They got Cuban Pete.
He's the king of the
Rum
salt.
beat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he shakes his maracas, they go chick chicky boom, chick chicky boom,
That movie,
chick chicky boom.
The Mask,
Yeah.
fucking sucks.
No.
What?
Yes.
What?
That movie,
When was
is
the
wrong
last
with
time
you?
you watched it?
like the 90s. I hated it then.
God.
There's no redeeming quality.
I loved it as a kid.
It's just Jim Carrey being loud.
Yes, and it's good.
Just rewatch it.
I rewatched it not too long ago. Holds up.
Yeah, rewatch it. You'll like it.
No. They got 5,000 Cubans. They teach them how to be soldiers, teach them how to fight, how to be guerrilla warfare guys. They get bombers and aircraft from foreign countries that can't be traced back to the United States. So they want to make it as
So
if-
it's like we give it to Canada, Canada gives it to these guys,
Yeah,
then they give it
yeah.
to Cuba. Shit like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weird chains of like covering paper trails. So that, and then they set them up in Nicaragua. And this is all supposed to look like random Cubans come with air power and just land, and we don't know where they came from.
And weapons.
Yeah.
Lots of weapons.
So what happens is they have a bombing run, and they're supposed to knock out like the Cuban Air Force with this bombing run, like a surprise attack.
Who is? Us or the Cubans we armed?
The Cubans we armed,
Okay.
Which technically, is that us?
flying out of
Yeah.
flying out of Nicaragua. And somebody tips off the Cubans, and they prepare for it. So none of the Cuban Air Force is damaged. It's a complete failure. They land the guys on the bay. They're immediately intercepted by Castro's soldiers. They're under fire. And the CIA begs Kennedy to send in the American Air Force to save them and support and just go all out. Do the
Just
military
invade, fuck it.
do the military solution, take over the country. And he says, no, I'm not going to do it. And he lets them die on the beach.
Now, do you think he should have?
Probably.
What would Russia's reaction have been?
If the United States just invaded Cuba and took it over?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Were the bombs there at the time?
Not yet.
Then nothing. The reaction would have been nothing. If
I
the
don't
bombs,
know.
If there was Russian equipment there, there would have been a counter assault. But
Right.
because there wasn't, on a world stage, what are you going to do?
It's interesting because, like, Korea happened already,
Yes.
and that was allowed to go down.
And Nam is happening.
Not yet. Not really.
Oh, no? I
thought it
we
was
were
in
already
the, I
in
thought
Nam.
it was in the start of Nam at this point.
Well, the Vietnamese issue is a thing. There's stuff happening in Vietnam. There really aren't meant. There's literally CIA guys in.
CSI
Yes.
guys. They have their cool glasses. They're investigating the crimes.
The only Americans in Vietnam at this point are like CIA dudes and like a handful of like advisors and shit. It's not the military. The Vietnam War hasn't started yet. The Soviets didn't blow up the world when all that stuff went on. Korea.
Yeah.
On the same time, like the United States didn't blow up the world when the Soviets took over Hungary for.
Or when they invaded Afghanistan.
Well, that's later.
Well, I'm saying in general.
Right. So I don't know. Would it inch the world closer to nuclear war? Definitely.
Yeah.
Would it happen? There probably could have been a solution.
They wouldn't
at
be
that
happy.
point. Yeah, if you're just going to oust a guy, it's not like they elected Castro. I mean, he took over the government with a revolution. It is a popular revolution that has the support of the Cuban people, but
When has that ever stopped us before?
exactly.
And it's on our doorstep.
Yeah.
And how much support is real and how much is just fabricated support where it's like, I have a gun to your head, support me.
True.
So
he's not willing to commit a full-scale invasion of the island of Cuba. This, of course, down the road will lead Castro flying into the arms of the Soviets.
Protect me.
Yes. And begging them to bring hardcore nuclear weapons into the country. Cuban Missile Crisis. The United States' response is to blockade the island as the Russian ships famously approach the American blockade. Somebody blinks and they turn around and go home. The world is saved.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Thank God, or else none of us would be talking.
So
right
the
now.
Cubans did the
And
next
thank
best
God
thing.
America and the world learned its lessons, and there were never any hostilities or threats of nuclear war again.
Cubans did the next
the
best
current
thing. Though.
situation is so fucked up.
They installed somebody in the Canadian government. The next best thing. If you can't get to the U.S., just go a little north.
Oh, you're talking about Trudeau and his alleged
Yeah.
father.
I have that in my notes. At one point, they have a line where they say something like, Trudeau, you would. They go, Castro, you wouldn't even recognize him without the beard. I go, yeah, you would. He looks just like the Prime Minister of Canada. So we have to explain this, right?
I think anyone who knows
I mean,
knows.
yeah.
Well, real quick, there's a theory which I think we
Very
all,
good theory.
I think
It's
we
pretty
all
good.
personally agree that in the 70s, Trudeau's
Pierre Trudeau and his wife.
went to Cuba. 9 months later, Justin Trudeau came out. And if you look at pictures of him and Fidel Castro side by side, they're identical. I don't know. I'm just saying.
It's a little
Look at
fishy,
it.
little extra conspiracy theory coming at you.
Anyway, back to the movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people pissed off that the Bay of Pigs went the way it went down.
Yeah.
Namely, the Cuban activist people, strong anti-communist people.
And I believe this is where we're introduced to Tommy Lee Jones.
Not yet. That's shortly.
Shortly?
The mafia's upset.
Yeah.
So this is actually where we're introduced to Tommy Lee
Yeah,
Jones.
yeah.
Right. We're introduced to Clay Bertrand, a.k.a. Tommy Lee Jones. And he's playing a homosexual man.
Have more champagne.
He's awesome.
Oh, he's good at
hilarious.
This
Oh
is
my
his
God.
best performance
Ever.
by far.
Yeah.
Like, I've never seen him actually act before.
What do you mean? He's
What?
great.
Because
No Country for Old Men?
usually he's just playing cranky Tommy Lee Jones and a variation of that.
Yeah.
You know? Like, this is so
Or
different.
Two-Face.
Hey, Two-Face, show. Hey,
It's quite simple, my boy. You lean back. I forgot the line.
hey, Two-Face, show me how to suck a guy. It
Oh,
fits this
Dufresne.
movie.
Where's more champagne? I'm going to say that for a long
But, like,
time.
let
by
Let
the
me
way.
shuffle around my chefferole.
He is so different than any other role you've seen Tommy Lee Jones in.
He's the best actor.
He's great
this.
in it.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal.
Who's better in this, him or John Candy? Because they're both really good in this.
They're both perfect.
Yeah, it's hard to tell, but I think Tommy Lee takes it.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
He got the bigger part.
I was distracted in John Candy's scene because he just had giant pancakes.
Yeah, Daddy-O. His accent's crazy.
Yeah.
I can't even.
He's
describe
spot on,
It.
and he's doing the jive talk and shit.
Yeah, but like weird jive, like with a weird accent. Daddy-O. It's crazy.
So after the John Candy scene, he gives the next lead to Garrison, where we are introduced to Kevin Bacon, who is playing a fictional person named
Yes.
Mr. O'Keefe.
Who is a
Willie O'Keefe.
Willie O'Keefe.
gay
He's
prostitute?
a gay hooker.
Yeah.
And
He's the amalgamation of three different people.
Perry Russo is one of them, I
Oh, he
believe.
is?
Right?
Yes. Perry Russo
Is the main one, I thought.
would end up in real life being the star witness in the actual trial.
Okay.
On, what's his name? Clay Shaw.
Clay Shaw.
And Perry Russo is in the movie.
Yes, he is.
Yeah. The real Perry Russo.
So is the real Garrison.
Oh, is he? I didn't know that.
He plays Warren when they show like Warren reading the Warren report.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's Garrison.
Okay. His enemy, his sworn enemy.
Yeah, but I mean, that's fun, right?
Yeah. That's a fuck you.
Yeah.
So they talk to Kevin Bacon about just the whole scenario and what's happening. They show some angry communists.
Well, he tells his whole story about the party where they discuss how to kill the president.
And you see the Pesci that we actually love comes out.
A little bit. He's screaming. He's
Screaming,
angry.
and it's like, oh, there's Pesci. Thank God.
And this is the scene when they're like, he looks ridiculous without a beard.
Yeah.
They have the photos, yeah.
Yeah.
Triangulation of fire.
They're right. They're
And
right.
Kevin Bacon tries to
What
fuck.
about his mice? Joe Pesci's stupid mice.
There's mice all
Yeah, I'm
over
trying to
in
cure
cages.
cancer. You know, he's playing like a guy who's supposed to be like a genius. He speaks
Yeah.
like multiple languages.
Yeah,
He's trying to cure cancer.
it ain't really coming off like that.
Oh, really? Ferry is like a genius?
They say it
They
in the
say
movie.
it in the movie.
Okay, I didn't realize that. But
Garrison said he's one of the most important men in history.
wow. I mean, that's a stretch. But Kevin Bacon tries to fuck Kevin Costner.
I don't think he. Oh yeah, he hits on him. Yeah, he hits on him.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a handsome man,
Yeah.
Mr. Guy. I say that
Yes.
all the time.
Call
Yeah.
me.
That's my father always says that.
Really?
Yeah, I got it from my dad.
You're a handsome man, Mr. Garrison.
yeah.
Now, I have a question for you guys. We're all South Park fans.
Of
Yes.
course.
And I'm sure this whole time we're all thinking of Mr. Garrison.
Yes.
I didn't think that at all.
Really?
Yeah,
Didn't
it
pop
come
into
up
your
in my
head?
No.
Okay, it popped into mine.
It did.
Is Mr. Garrison gay because of this movie? Because there's so much gay
So much
shit
gay shit in this movie.
surrounding Garrison that
No, I
they
don't
did
think
that in
so.
South Park.
I didn't even think of the connection.
Okay,
It
they,
wouldn't be surprising.
they did do a JFK episode with him where he's trying
Oh,
to
you're
assassinate
right. He's
Kathy.
Kathy Lee
yeah.
Gifford.
It
Yeah.
would not be surprising at all, really, because they're geniuses. So to bring that up even remotely, they probably thought of it too.
Maybe.
Who knows?
And now we get one of
Matt
the
and
greatest stashes like ever in this ever.
I wrote, what a stash.
Paul. His name's Paul.
I don't even know who you're talking about.
Oh,
The waiter.
Really? You sure?
I don't remember.
There's a waiter who serves them
waiter.
who has a long mustache.
Oh, yeah.
His name's Paul.
Yes. And somebody knew him as they walked in, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Costner knew him.
Right.
It was like, oh, Paul, and he has a martini waiting for him. He's like, oh, thank you.
You don't come around enough.
And I was just like, that stash is crazy.
And they talk about the clean hobos.
Yes.
And they talk about Oswald's defection to the USSR.
Yeah, they getting deep with the whole Oswald's backstory. And he's gone. So he's lived in the Soviet Union.
And he comes back to Dallas.
Yeah.
Now, this is something that I wanted to talk about.
the U-2 spy planes that always spy on Bono.
They're dedicated to spying. They're always trying to find out what the new album is
Yeah,
going to sound
yeah.
like.
Do you think he has another It's a Beautiful Day in him? God, I hope so. Let's find out. But last year I read a
Based
book.
out of Joshua Tree Park. Go ahead.
Last year I read a book, 11/22/63.
You read?
I read, yes. I try to do a book a month.
Really?
Yeah.
Did
It's,
you listen to this book?
I listen to the books.
Okay.
Do you count that as reading?
I do, but most
I do.
people wouldn't.
It's a weird thing. You know, I feel weird saying I listened to a book,
Yeah, I don't like saying
but
it
I
either.
say I read it.
I've definitely listened to a few books.
Yes, I try to do one a month. But 11/22/63, it's a Stephen King book. And in the book, this guy travels in time, and his mission,
It's about the Lincoln assassination, right?
yeah, he's trying in 63. He's waiting around, you know. He's there with Grant. He's a black guy. It was rough for him. But so in 11/22/63, this guy's trying to stop the JFK assassination.
You go back in time.
He goes back in time. And his mission is to stop JFK. And he gets to like he's there in like 1959 when he starts his time.
Missed.
It's because of how this thing works. It's like a time portal.
Okay.
And he has to spend the 4 years in the 60s waiting for the moment of the assassination.
Okay.
Right? He's waiting for the thing.
Does he impact the future?
I'm not going to spoil it, but
It's a yes.
yes and no. But anyway,
Does he go to the Enchantment Under the Sea dance?
he meets Lorraine. Yes, they have to
Does
dance.
he tell Goldie Wilson to go to night school? He's going to be somebody.
You're going to be mayor. Meg.
Yeah.
But while there, one of the things he does is he tries to stop Lee Harvey Oswald in his previous assassination attempt.
What?
Now, not many people know this, and I texted you when I was reading the book because I was shocked that this isn't common knowledge. Lee Harvey Oswald actually tried to assassinate an American general named Edwin Walker. Edwin Walker was.
Never heard this.
Yeah, me neither.
I texted you about it when I read the book.
Forgot I heard this.
Okay. Edwin Walker. Edwin Walker was an American general. He served in World War II, Korea, etc. Decorated to the highest degree, right? Mm-hmm. He is a brutal nationalist, hardcore anti-communist.
Okay.
And he is all about invading Cuba.
Okay.
He hates the communists and all this. He is in Dallas. And as we know, so is Lee Harvey Oswald. Lee Harvey Oswald goes to his house.
This is on the day of the assassination?
This is April 10th, 1963.
So a few months earlier.
A few months earlier. And basically, he's by his window in his office, and Lee Harvey Oswald shoots at him. The bullet misses.
This happens in the fictional book, or this is real?
This happens in the book, and then I looked it up, and it's real.
Okay.
This happened. And
Was it with the Carcano rifle?
same rifle, same bullet. The Warren Commission linked them after, and that's how they were able to figure out who shot at Edwin Walker.
Wow.
Edwin Walker hated Kennedy, like would hand out anti-Kennedy propaganda, all this shit, right?
He liked Ike?
Yeah.
He wanted to resign. He wanted to officially retire.
I like Ike.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
That's
What about
little
Mike?
Confusing though, right? Because the guy hates Kennedy, so Oswald tries to kill the guy who hates Kennedy, even though he wants to kill Kennedy.
Well, that's the thing with Kennedy,
Isn't
right?
it the enemy of my enemy is my friend?
Kennedy is
He didn't read Sun Tzu.
Didn't read Sun Tzu, yeah.
Kennedy is a lot. He's more middle of the road than a lot of people give him credit for, I think.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think communists like him, and hardcore anti-commies didn't like him either. Like, he didn't win any friends,
Right.
which is, why
Makes sense.
he got his head blown off. But Walker, he went through all this shit afterwards. Like,
The Texas Ranger?
Yeah.
he became a Texas Ranger,
Sick
had a
sick
hell of a
hat.
roundhouse kick,
Right.
Sick hat.
mastered karate.
Walker told me I have AIDS.
Now, he ended up losing his pension because he spoke out against
Kelly Joe
Kennedy.
Osment.
Oh, I know that clip. Yeah. So Walker ended up, losing his pension, and he tried to get a political career going, and it all failed. All this stuff. He's an interesting guy if you look into him, but his last interesting thing is very relevant to this podcast.
Really?
Yeah.
What did he invent?
So in 1966. He was arrested for fondling and propositioning a male undercover police officer
How did I know
in a
this
public
was gonna go?
restroom.
Wait a minute.
It's important to the podcast because we follow in his footsteps. Or at least we try our best to.
That's what happened to the guy from Wham.
There's a lot of fondling in male restrooms, apparently.
I mean, that's what they love.
Who doesn't?
Brian, you got to go to the bathroom right now, right?
Are you coming?
I mean,
Maybe.
well, do you want the surprise?
So, yes, that's Edwin Walker. Brutal, right-wing style guy
Who's also a secret
who's also a
gay?
secret homosexual and was busted.
There's a lot of secret gays surrounding the Kennedy administration.
There are. Isn't that interesting? So anyway, that's Edwin Walker, and I just find it interesting that Lee Harvey Oswald tried to assassinate another prominent American 6 months before.
And didn't. How do they? But well, they didn't catch him.
They didn't know he did it because he fired
know-
the shot and ran away.
The bullet gave it away and was like, oh, it was him that shot it. That makes sense.
Afterwards, they're able to determine it.
I don't know how true this is, but I'm under the impression that most presidents, at some point, have botched assassination attempts on them, and we just don't hear about it.
Oh, probably.
The Secret Service just fucking nips that right in the bud, and it just goes away. I think there's more assassination attempts out there than people know.
Well,
A lot of people in the country.
Did anyone actually take a shot at Trump? I'm trying to remember.
Yes.
There was one, right?
Yes.
Was that the one when he ducked down and then people were making fun of him online?
That was
I know.
every day.
Yeah, that's I think the Secret Service stopped the guy.
But we know Reagan was shot.
But he actually got shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he continue his speech?
He did.
What a fucking badass. What a badass.
Can we talk about the Jack Ruby?
The Jack
The
Ruby.
jewel or the
Specific-
person?
no, the man.
Yeah, okay.
So I saw something today in looking up stuff about this that I'd never heard before.
Do you like jackfruit?
No, I like breadfruit. Jack Ruby, man owned a nightclub.
Yeah.
Yep.
He shot Lee Harvey Oswald.
Yep.
The official story that I'd always heard is that he did it because he didn't want Jackie to face the embarrassment of having to go to trial and face Lee Harvey Oswald in court, right? Which just sounds retarded. He's got mafia connections. He had cancer. So he's going to die. Now, I heard today that when he was in prison after this all went down, he was visited by a guy named West, who is a secret agent. He's a CIA guy. He's a secret agent.
Yeah. Secret agent.
Secret agent.
And this guy West,
Jim
his-
West. Desperado. No, you don't want nada. None of this. Or you'll be laid out in the Wild Wild West.
Brian has a valid point.
agreed. I'll shut up now.
We're going straight to the Wild Wild West.
Okay.
He's done.
Wild Wild
Mr.
West.
West.
You thought he was done.
Agent West specialty is like MK Ultra mind control shit.
Oh, God.
Okay.
Here we go.
Is this
And
true?
This is what I saw on the internet today.
Like where? Like
YouTube. I was watching a video.
Okay.
I don't know
we
the
don't know how
credentials.
real this is.
All right. It's a YouTube
Now,
thing.
it is
Do
reported.
you have Mr. West's first name?
I didn't write it down.
Oh, Adam. He was also
Adam
Batman.
West, yes. Hello? I can't do him.
You can't do an Adam West?
Can you?
Yeah. Hold on.
You can do an Adam West.
Do him telling someone to kill the president.
Hello? I want you to kill the president, old chum.
That's very good.
Thank you. You twisted evil fiend. You've raised our taxes for the last time. That's my Adam West.
So
a good Adam West.
when they tackled Jack Ruby after he shot Oswald,
Yeah.
supposedly he said something to the effect of, "Why are you tackling me? Where am I?"
Really?
Yes. And then when he went into prison, he went fucking nanners. He's insane. Like
Really?
bouncing off the walls, talking crazy. Like completely lost control of his faculties. And is just a crazy
He just
guy.
became a madman.
Became a madman and then died shortly after.
Okay.
It's just very odd.
That is odd. So this would supposit that the CIA took Jack Ruby, brainwashed him into killing Lee Harvey Oswald,
drugs.
and then his mind broke.
Yes.
This is the plot of Zoolander, isn't it?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Jack Ruby also could not look left.
You're right. And what were they trying to tell? What were they trying to tell us in Zoolander?
Zoolander. Well, in Zoolander, they supposit that every great assassin is an actor or model.
Male model.
Male model, yeah.
But why male models?
Because you do what you're told. No, I don't. Yes, you do, Derek. Okay.
Also, we were talking about that guy Russo, who
Yeah.
Willie O'Keefe is based on. Did you know that they got some of his testimony after hypnotizing him?
Yes, I heard that.
Yes.
That
And
is
drugged him,
weird.
gave him truth serum.
They gave him truth
There's all
serum.
kinds of weird,
I feel like
spooky stuff.
the truth serum thing is probably the breaking point. Hypnotizing, I feel like is just fake.
No, I think some people are susceptible to it.
Yeah. Can we try this? Like one day?
hypnotize
Well,
Can we just
apparently-
find a hypnotist and see if it works.
I saw some people that they thought that his testimony should be inadmissible because he was drugged,
Right.
and people were like kind of upset about that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There's so much weird shit around this.
Yes, and everybody keeps dying.
Yeah, coincidentally.
Yes.
So Lee Harvey Oswald, they supposit in this that he's in the CIA and that he is probably a patsy. And
That's what he said.
and we find out about the grassy knoll. Like,
This is,
people are talking about it, right? All these people of eyewitness reports, they're like, I saw men on the thing by the fence on the
Yes.
grassy knoll.
I heard the shots.
And Kevin Costner is like, that was bullshit. That's fraudulent testimony, what the Warren report said. and they start testing the shots from the book. What is it, Depository?
Yes.
All right.
I thought you were going to say suppository, and I was going to be
I
very
say,
happy.
I say that all the time.
Book suppository?
Yes. That's what I'm trying to get a quick read. I supposit the book.
The fastest way.
But
ingest it quicker.
They're testing the shots.
Yes.
Now, all three of us have shotguns before.
Yes.
Now, no one here is a marksman.
Yes.
No.
Except Steve.
Yes.
But
I'm a good shot with a rifle.
yeah.
Don't look at me like that.
So we obviously have different rifles than what Lee Harvey Oswald
He was using an Italian Carcano rifle,
It's a
apparently.
bolt action rifle.
which, if I
Yes.
believe, is a kind of shit rifle. Like, it's not a good gun.
Everybody keeps saying it's bad.
it's not that bad of a gun.
I don't know how bad it actually is.
Bolt rifles are usually pretty well made. For
Pretty
the most
accurate,
part. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. They're pretty
Now,
accurate.
they take a little while to fire, obviously. It's not like it's
Yes.
semi-auto or something.
Yeah.
You have to pull the bolt back and put it back in. You know, it takes a few seconds.
And when you do that, your aim slightly changes.
Right.
Like, he didn't have a mount or anything.
Right. And
that we know of.
according to the film, Lee Harvey Oswald was not a great marksman.
Now, that's what I've heard before.
That's where I don't know because there's other movies that say he was a good marksman.
You mean Full Metal Jacket?
Full Metal Jacket. Specifically, they say
From
he
that
was a
book
rifleman.
suppository
Book
building.
suppository building. Where did I shoot? The Marines, because Marines shoot rifles at I don't. How far do you know off the top of your head? How far was the shot from the book suppository to the
It's
car?
depository.
I like suppository. Book suppository to the car.
I don't know.
Can you, like,
We probably
'cause
should have
if
looked
it's
this up.
if it's like it's got to be more than 100 yards, right? It's got to be.
A football field? No, I don't think it
You
is.
think it's if it's short, if it's like 50 to 80, that's not that hard of a shot with that rifle, especially with a good scope, especially a dialed-in scope.
5 of the 6 shots hit at 265 feet.
Now that's the conspiracy version. That's not the official story. The official story is there are 3 shots. There are not 5 or 6.
I just Googled how far was the shot that
distance.
killed JFK,
So 200 feet's not that far.
and it said 265 feet.
That's not that far at all. You can get a good shot with that rifle with a good scope if you dialed that in. Yeah, that's not that bad.
I think
Speed wise, though, how they mentioned it, that's debatable.
what's more interesting, if he is shooting from the depository building,
Suppository.
why not take the shot at the easier position as he's coming around the corner?
That's the thing.
right. The harder shot is
Because you
the
have to
one
lean
that
out
would
the
have killed
window.
him.
But he's leaning out the window either way.
No, he's looking out the window. The gun's not out of the window. You'll notice the gun if you're out the window. If it's turning
Why
the
not just
corner,
stand
you have to lean.
He wasn't. No, we would have had a straightaway shot as he approached the building, but in the other way, it opens him up to that triangulation they were talking about in the movie. If you wait for him to make the turn, so now you go out the different window, and I just made an aiming rifle
Yes.
gesture.
Yeah.
Then you've got the grassy knoll and the bridge, or wherever the hell the third one.
Right, but
was.
isn't that a straight shot from the window? It's forward facing. It's not
But
curved.
there's a tree in the way, and
There's
it's
stuff in the way. Yeah.
It's like a weird angle now. I don't know. I'm not
Okay,
in the
so I
building.
got Oswald's shooting scores.
shooting scores.
scores.
It's his scores in the military.
Oh, okay.
What? What's wrong with that?
Nothing. I don't know why he found that so hilarious.
In 19
I thought he slipped something up. Never mind.
in December 1956, he scored a 212, which was slightly above the requirements for the designation of sharpshooter. In 1959, he tested again, and he scored 191, which reduced his rating to marksman. He was court-martialed after accidentally shooting himself with a .22 handgun. So
embarrassing.
I don't know what to think of it. I don't think that he was,
Great.
I don't think he was spectacular. He was probably a good shot.
a marksman at 200
Like
feet.
Joe Pesci in
not like,
Goodfellas. It's a good shot.
Yeah, it's a good shot. What are you gonna do?
Problem what I did, Anthony?
But he at one point he was shooting a little bit closer to a sharpshooter than a marksman, right? That's what that said. That's what I meant.
He qualified as a sharpshooter.
And then when he retested, his
He was
rank
just a marksman,
dropped.
but he was close to.
He was like
sharpshooter.
just there.
So sharpshooter 200 feet. That's not hard. It's not. He probably shot a couple of thousand rounds before he made those shots too.
I don't know. So anyway, they start saying that they believe that it was triangulation, that it was coming from Oswald in the book suppository, the grassy knoll, and another building, right?
Yes.
And it was a three-way crossfire.
Yeah. You'll get caught up in that.
Crossfire!
Just like this show, really.
Yeah, we're like Crossfire.
Yeah.
I'm Chris Matthews. I used to like when they would do that on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
That was funny.
That was a good bit. Who used to play him?
I wanted to say Bill Pullman, but it's not. It's
Bill Pullman.
it's the guy.
We're going to survive. From now on.
Bill Hammond, right? Is that his name?
Hater.
No, not Hater.
Daryl Hammond.
Daryl Hammond.
Yes,
Daryl
it was Daryl
Hammond,
Hammond. You're right. Where are we at in the movie?
All right, so they're testing the shots, and they're saying that the Time magazine cover is fake.
Yes.
Yes.
What do you guys think?
Fuck do I know?
I don't know.
Photoshop.
Why would it even matter?
Yeah, I don't know.
First off, all right, even if that photo
Because
was
the
fake,
photo is important because it has him holding the rifle.
but he was a Marine.
No, he has him holding that rifle.
Right, but he was still a Marine. Who you can own guns like
The rifle was found in the book depository building, stuffed behind like some boxes.
Oh, yeah.
He bought that gun from Chicago. He ordered it in the mail.
That's the Chicago way.
Yes. Mm-hmm. He ordered that and a book suppository the Chicago way, just to sit on it.
It's driving Ant crazy.
Yeah.
It's shoving books up your ass.
Exactly. Book suppository. So now we get to it's Easter, and he abandons his family
Yes.
to confront Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes.
And I love this scene.
This scene is great. Sissy Spacek needs to get in fucking line. Like, really?
He's
the
trying to
guy's
save-
trying to save America.
Yes.
And you are giving him shit? Shut up.
Your kids need you. It's Easter.
They're fine.
I have to go harass this homosexual man.
Yes.
You don't understand.
I need to know how many men he knew biblically. Like, I gotta know it.
So they reenact the Batman scene from the first movie where they're at the long table away from each other.
That's why I got a long table. That's what it's for.
What is his servant's name that he doesn't like? Is it like Jasper or something?
Oh, fuck.
It's great.
I don't remember.
It seems a bit uncouth to call him by that name. So I call him Jenkins or something.
Yeah.
And he does the champagne line again. More champagne. Like, why
Do you
do
remember that episode of King of the Hill where they go to visit Bill's cousin in New Orleans? It's like the best episode.
I don't like King of the Hill.
Oh,
so.
he's like flamboyantly gay Cajun man. It's fucking hysterical.
So
They've always called me a creeper. They say I creep like the
So they really don't get
slowly
like.
strangling our beloved Dixie.
It seems like they didn't get a lot out of him, but when he leaves, Costner's like, "We got him," and it's like,
well,
what?
right when they meet, they're talking about the gay dress up. He confronts them about like their gay dress up
Oh, when
things.
they dress like European aristocrats from 1805.
It reminds me of what
Gold paint.
It reminds me of what we wear when we do the show. Ant has incredibly long white
the symbol.
stockings on.
Yes.
Beaver is dressed like Marie Antoinette.
And Brian's wearing culottes.
Yeah.
Brian's wearing a Speedo with gold paint on him.
He's dressed like Hermes. He's a winged fury.
So I forgot how gay this movie is.
it's very gay. It's very gay.
Well, I saw the movie once like 10 years ago.
Yes. Kevin Bacon, quite gay. Tommy Lee Jones, quite gay.
Joe Pesci, quite gay.
gay.
Angry gay.
Which it's so weird to see him gay, right?
Yeah.
Because like I always think of him as
Tough guy.
a tough
Gang-
guy,
a
a mob
gangster,
guy,
yeah.
a criminal,
Yeah.
or a lawyer,
Yeah.
a hysterical lawyer. Now Garrison failed, but if they got Vinny, what's the last name?
Gambini. Vincent Gambini.
If they got Vincent Gambini on the case,
Mr. Gambini.
they would have been solved.
Yeah.
Because she would have found the car that Oswald was in, recognized the
She would
tire
have been
tracks.
taking pictures in Dealey Plaza next to him in the shower, the case cracker.
It was like the slip differential because like the you see the wheel go off the ground.
You ever get caught in the mud in Alabama?
One wheel spins, the
The
other
other
one
one
does
does
nothing.
nothing.
And we got a paranoid Pesci.
Oh, his acting in the scene is phenomenal.
This is a great
Yes,
scene.
it is.
He's
I'll give you that.
terrified.
He's running all over. He's being manic.
And he tells them they don't know anything is going on. It's just a deep plot, and
And he's terrified that he's just going to be killed at
gonna
any
be killed
second.
'cause
He thinks
he's
there's people in
right.
the room
He's
with him.
checking everything. He's scared to eat.
Yeah.
yep. They made bad choice of music for the scene, man.
Yeah.
Like like I said before, the music in this movie really was bad choices. Too loud sometimes, and then it was a manic scene, but it was tense music, not like frantic, and it was just confusing, like how it felt for me.
What I found to be the most ill-used music in the movie was during the courtroom trial.
When they did Enter the Gladiators.
No.
They might as well have.
When they're showing imagery of JFK's head exploding, they're showing like the Zapruder.
yes, yeah.
And there's glorious triumphant music playing over a man's brains falling out the back of his neck.
Yeah, it's silence would have been so much better.
Yes.
Just
Well,
keep it silent. You don't need
If
music.
Garrison doesn't do that, I don't think we ever see that footage
It's probably still being
hidden.
yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right.
That footage never would have come.
Or it
out.
would have been like passed off as like fake, and we would have just
Oh, if it had
know?
never been released and like today they were like, oh, here's the Zapruder footage, everyone would be like, this is like
Right,
fake.
yeah.
This is Photoshop.
Fake and gay. Pixar, it didn't happen.
it was a writer.
We made it up.
So they whack Pesci again.
Guys always getting
He's
whacked.
always getting killed.
This time not by what's his name?
Was My Cousin Vinny the
not
only
his
movie
friends.
he survives
Frank
in?
Vincent.
Well, he lives through both Home Alones, which he
Does
should
he?
have died a much gory death.
He died 10 times in that movie. It's just a kid's movie, so they couldn't kill him.
Right. Yeah.
They say it's natural cause, which means it was cyanide.
They got him.
It's
They got him.
cyanide, yeah.
And there's 2 suicide notes, which is very weird.
Yes.
And that's real. Supposedly he died of natural causes in his autopsy, but there were 2 suicide notes, and it's very suspect.
Very
It's
sus.
just very weird that
Very
that would
sus.
happen.
Also very sloppy if it's a CIA operation. Like, what?
Well, when you also control the people investigating, it really doesn't fucking matter.
True.
But this is the worst scene in the movie. When the FBI comes to Rooker.
Agent X.
No, Agent X is great.
Donald Sutherland.
Donald Sutherland's
Sutherland.
great. When they go to
It's on your side, Bubba.
when they go to Michael Rooker and there's like 5 minutes of like the FBI telling him to like stop helping Costner,
Oh yeah.
that scene is pointless. It doesn't need to be there.
I actually did. I skipped over it. I didn't write anything about it.
But the next scene we get is Mr. X.
We skipped a good part, I think. When after they send Tommy Lee Jones away, he informs the media of what's going on with this investigation, and
You're right.
they
That is when
they
Joe
villainize
Pesci is scared.
right because now the just every media outlet is bearing down on them, and if there is anything to the grand conspiracy. It is interesting to see the scene where he's on late night talk show and he's trying to show like photos and stuff. Kevin Costner's on there.
Yeah.
He's trying to show photos and the host immediately shuts him down and won't let him show the stuff. And it's like, oh, is the media on board with whatever the thing is? Like, are there no investigative reporters or journalists that are going to seek the truth, or is it just, here's the line, here's we're going to toe the company line on this,
They're saying what they're supposed to say.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's very reminiscent of the modernity.
You know what's funny? Like, I thought that when I was watching it, but so many of the people that made this movie were fans of this movie are the same people now that like are for the media doing shit like that.
I know.
Like they completely like lost their souls.
Yeah.
No, back to the beginning of the conversation, he even said that. Like, Americans kind of lost it. It's gone,
Oh, yeah.
That's what you said before,
It's
right?
whatever team you're on now.
Yeah.
It's not.
It's sports teams.
Yeah.
I'm a Yankees fan. I must cheer for the Yankees no matter what. I'm a Mets fan. I must cheer for the Mets no matter what. And like you will excuse anything as long as your team is fucking winning.
Right.
Horrible way to be.
And like with politics, it's literally the worst thing to have sports teams for.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But getting back to the movie,
Agent X.
Agent X is based on a real guy
Really?
named Leroy Fletcher Pouty.
When did that come out?
When did Pouty come out?
When
That
did
he
it
was
come
a
out
real
that
guy.
that's the guy?
Well, I don't know if he came out of the closet, but
Well, considering there's a lot of gays in this, it's, expected.
I assume he's dead now.
he is dead
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, probably. He was old, it seemed, in this.
That's a guy who can't reveal himself if any of this information that he says is accurate until very late in life.
So in 1975,
there you go.
he brought a lot of this stuff forward and testified and spoke about various things related to this.
Did he die in 1976?
He's also involved in another incident called the 1960 U-2 incident. I don't.
Spy plane?
Oh, yeah, I told you. They were spying on
Maybe.
Bono. They knew.
They were trying to.
They were trying.
They were trying to get the blueprints for
premeditated-
Boyd and war.
So
New Year's Day, it's going to be huge.
It's going to be big.
Howdy.
We got to keep an eye on this.
Pouty died June 5th, 2001.
All right. So
Oh,
he lived.
wait, who's that?
The,
You said he died. Oh, he
Pouty
made it
is
to
X.
2001.
He made it
Agent
to
X, yeah, he
2001.
lived.
But he testified in 75 about all this shit.
Now, is this the most exposition you've ever seen in a movie? I feel like it is.
This is spelling it out for people who can't piece it together.
Right.
Yes. And I feel like what I mentioned before in the car ride about it, where
The only exposition I care about is that in The Force Awakens. When
Somehow Palpatine returned. No, that's Rise of Skywalker.
that scene where Leia and Han just talk about everything they know already about each other for the benefit of the audience. It's like the worst written scene I've ever seen.
Our son, do you remember when he left and joined the dark side?
Yes, I do remember that. And what about when he did?
And isn't it a shame we used to be married and in love? And
Things just didn't turn out the way we expected.
could you imagine if me, you, and Luke were just together on screen? I mean, we saw each other again.
no, I feel like that this wasn't necessary. It really wasn't. At least not to the extent of that they did. It
I
could have
like
been,
this.
it could have been
thing.
shortened. It could have just been a
This is the
smaller blip.
confirmation that like they're evil. They're evil.
you kind of knew it though already.
No, it was implied.
It was yeah, but that's all you need.
He's like, they had the paper early in New Zealand and like
Yeah.
all this.
yeah, they
They
just
sent
did
him to Antarctica.
Yeah.
they did so much that you just didn't really need. You just didn't.
So-
there would have been security everywhere
There's
if I
so
was
many
there. It's like
things
okay,
that the movie asked you to keep track of. You know.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I you did not
Basically,
need
he's like
this.
the military industrial complex did this.
All right.
That's what he
To
says.
start war and make money.
The
make
music got
money.
loud again. I missed half of it. I said, please, more exposition. I got it. I got what I asked for.
Shaw gets arrested.
And this is when they implicate LBJ, right?
Yeah, this is what
Yes.
they say LBJ did.
He
it.
becomes woke. He woke up to what was going on after he met Agent X, and it's like, oh, I see it now.
Yes.
He becomes woke.
right. Truth's on your side, Bubba.
Yeah.
So Jim Garrison, he like reacts to slander, and there's a creepy call to his daughter, which is a scary scene.
Yes. And he doesn't give a shit.
And, yeah, he doesn't care.
He knows
He's
we gotta
just
fight.
worried because MLK is shot the same day.
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
That's what he's worried about.
He said, kids, we can't let the Illuminati feast on the blood of children. We gotta fight.
Right.
Verbatim.
But-
Verbatim says it.
But my kid can be threatened openly.
Yes, that's okay. So he fights with his wife. They get audited by the IRS, which I found unbelievable.
Yeah.
The government would never use the IRS auditing people as,
As
a
a
way
weapon.
as a weapon.
Saints.
For political
Saints.
That would never happen.
IRS are saints.
Oswald, we found out that he was at that FBI office. That's what they claim in the movie.
They get bugged, right?
Rooker fights and leaves. They find bugs.
They find bugs everywhere, all over their office, which is
And when
right
we
there,
say
it's like,
bugs,
yeah,
we don't mean like spying devices. We
No,
mean
we mean like the
Rodros,
bad
roaches.
guys from
Men in Black.
from Starship Troopers.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's afraid. So
It's the flies from
RFK gets
The
shot
Exorcist.
too.
Yes. And it's just like the world is collapsing.
another shooting. Yep.
Yeah, it's like there
And
nothing.
The
can
wife
be
is like,
stopped.
"You were right. You were right. Let's fuck."
And now the
Nothing turns me
court
on like
ha-
somebody getting killed, like a Kennedy getting shot again.
Now court has begun,
Yes.
and they show in the Zapruder film
And we get the magic.
the magic bullet
Yeah.
theory.
The magic bullet theory, though, kind of reminds me of that movie where like they curve the bullet. Couldn't that have happened? What was that
Wanted?
fucking movie? Wanted.
X versus Sever.
like you're all asking like, oh, why'd he take that angle? Because he curved it around the tree, and that would have hit like 3 people.
Well, I think
Ant's look was just like, I can't believe you
this has happened before.
curving the bullet.
No, my friends went to a baseball game and
Oh,
they
yeah?
were hit with a magic loogie.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Keith Hernandez.
Keith Hernandez spit at them.
Mm-hmm.
The spit went all around in a circle,
Uh-huh.
hit one of them in the head, and it went back and to the left.
That's impressive.
Back and to the
the
left.
left.
Now that is one magic loogie.
There you go.
It's pretty impressive. It's impressive.
So,
See, that's the kind of exposition I like. That was short, sweet, to the point, you know?
so then
Unlike some movies.
So then we find out that JFK's brain disappeared, and Kevin Costner starts screaming, "You took his brain!"
Brain. What is brain?
That's what you want to do to me, isn't it?
You cut out his brain, you bloody baboon.
He was one of the most brilliant scientific minds.
What is that?
That's what he says
he doesn't.
in Apes. Yeah, he does.
He does?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, they didn't say that about Pesci here?
Oh, no, you know what? He says that about Landon, I think.
Dodge was killed in the hunt.
Dodge was killed in the hunt.
What happened to Landon?
No, because Landon was lobotomized.
Yes.
He was one of the most brilliant scientific minds.
So during this exposition, they say that he grabbed a Coke before fleeing, and they do this whole thing where like Lee Oswald could not have done this. Like,
Did you guys know about the cop getting killed?
Yes.
You did?
I
Yeah,
didn't know about
vaguely
that,
remember
no.
that. I remember that he wanted to buy the world a Coke.
yeah. And this is also for our sponsor, Coke. I'm going for it.
I would love it.
I'm going for the sponsorship of Coca-Cola. I'll get it. It's my goal. So what did we really learn from all this?
Well, at the end, we get the big speech from Kevin Costner,
Which
which
is the only part of this movie that matters.
it's the point
Yes.
of the movie.
Yes.
Is him talking to the audience and being like, the government is corrupt, hold these people accountable, make things happen,
or you don't have a country.
or you don't have a country. And he's begging you, looking at the camera, talking to the audience.
Yes.
And it's great. It's the best fourth wall break I've ever seen in a movie.
I agree.
It is phenomenal. It's so good. I love it. And,
Like
and it worked to
Yeah.
an extent
Right. Yeah.
as far as this one particular thing.
So nobody do any of us buy the Warren Report, the official story?
No.
No.
Do you think most Americans buy the Warren Report?
No. I think I saw a thing where 80% of Americans doubt that. Mm-hmm. I don't know how true it is. I'm sure if I asked anyone like 10 years younger than us,
They won't even know what it
they
is.
don't give a
No.
fuck.
They don't care.
They don't care about who's JFK. Was he the first president?
Yeah.
Like, that's the question.
And even the ones who would remotely care, I'd be like, oh, do you know the government and media are evil? They'd be like, oh, shit, wow. Shocker.
They already assumed
Shocker,
that.
bro.
Right. Yeah. That's the baseline.
Cool story. Thanks for telling me.
Yeah. All in all, it's not something you need to watch. Well, like
I think
it's not a fun watch.
It's not a fun watch, but it's
there
an
is-
interesting watch.
An interesting watch.
Sure, yes.
There's a lot. The performances are phenomenal.
The frustrating thing about the movie
A
is
lot of
this.
information.
You don't get answers.
It's a lot of
yeah.
information. You
know,
piece it together yourself.
That's the problem with this. Like, let's say this movie came out 200 years in the future and, like, all the shit is known and stuff. Maybe it's different. You know?
or
Like,
even if it's not known, they'd give it an ending.
exactly. Like if we were watching a movie about the McKinley assassination.
Ooh.
Like that we would know everything about, right?
Yeah.
But this we don't. So it's a little inconclusive, but it still is good. And the point of the movie isn't like who did it.
Right. It's not who killed Kennedy is irrelevant.
Yes.
How he was killed is irrelevant. Do something is what it's about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just ask questions.
Investigate. Find shit out.
Right.
Don't believe what people are
Just
telling
because
you.
you're told. Right.
Exactly. Because it's like,
And that's what Oliver Stone's fucking whole thing is with like
This
all
whole
this
shtick.
shit.
Yeah.
and I think that's
Which
a
is
good
good.
message.
It is a good
definitely.
message.
You
good.
should never trust anybody. Like we take experts' words for it on everything. Like we're told that dinosaurs existed because people found bones and put them up. Like, how do we fucking know? We're told that
That's a weird.
Brian, I don't know if that's
we
the
are
way to-
told the Earth is round
Okay, here we go.
because scientists because
You know what
scientists
Brian
have
is?
told us this.
Brian is managed opposition. They sent Brian in here to make us all look crazy.
No, I'm like seriously.
When
it
did
could-
they get to you?
It could be about anything, but
When
like
people start asking questions, then Brian comes along and says some crazy shit so that they stop asking questions. Like, oh, these guys are assholes.
no, really though. It could-
Meanwhile, I'm telling you birds aren't real, and it slipped right under the radar.
Yeah, well, that's true.
yeah, we all
Exactly.
know that.
Exactly.
No, it could be about anything, and we like people that investigated this shit tell us, and we accept it. Like we're told shit about medicine and food and nutrition and all this, and none of us have done any research. We just take an expert's advice on it. You know, instead of looking at questions, actually reading the research that determined that thing for us,
Right.
we just like, oh, okay. Like we're told the Earth is flat, the Earth is round. We're told the Earth is round, and we.
Brian's a flat earther.
I'm not. I am
no,
not.
no.
I am
Brian's
not.
not a flat earther. He thinks that the Earth is on a turtle shell flying through space.
Yes.
Oh, Brian's a Cherokee.
Yes.
No, seriously though. Like we are told the Earth is
Missing
round.
piece of the puzzle right there.
We're told the Earth is round, and I believe that obviously.
Yeah.
But like, has anyone at this table actually investigated that to find out?
I mean,
We flew halfway
Just-
across the world.
there's certain things that make that kind
It's
of
curved.
self-evident,
It's curved.
right?
I haven't been to space. I haven't looked at the
Gravity.
planet. Like,
Elon Musk did.
here's the thing. Like, we get satellite pictures of Earth. How do we actually know that those are accurate? You know what I mean? You really
Well,
don't.
you could attach like a camera to a weather balloon, and it'll just go to space, and you could see the curvature of Earth. Like you could just do that. It's legal. Nobody's stopping you.
I once kicked my ex-girlfriend's boyfriend so hard he saw the curvature of the Earth. True story.
Ex-girlfriend's boyfriend.
Yep, I kicked him
Her
so
new
hard.
boyfriend.
Oh, yeah.
No,
After you.
her ex-boyfriend before me. I
Why'd
kicked
you
him
kick
so
him?
hard he saw the curvature of the Earth.
Oh, yeah. That's a good question. Why'd
How
you
does that
kick him?
happen?
I just had to fucking do it. I punted him right fucking in the
And
face.
how did he? Oh, you kicked him that hard. That he
Yeah.
went into space.
Yep.
Is that when you realized, like, wait, gravity isn't real?
I'm told.
you're like-
I'm told gravity's real. I've never seen it.
Yeah. Well, you kicked someone into space.
I didn't see gravity. I saw you drop something. I see that 20 times a day. All right. You guys ready?
Yes.
So what would you rate this movie at?
It is a good movie. It's not a fun watch. Like, I don't want to watch this again anytime soon.
Get him through a towel.
Why did he throw a towel
He
at
thought
me?
you spilled
I
something.
didn't spill anything.
But you know what? That's good to be prepared because he's gonna at some point.
7.
7? Okay. I respect it.
That's high. That's high. 5 out of 10 for the acting, like in the people.
Acting's great.
Yeah, that's why it's a 5 out of 10. It would have been lower if it was worse actors.
I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10.
Wow.
Very good movie. I like it. It's definitely not super enjoyable, and it is way too long. It doesn't need to be 3 hours long.
Right.
But overall, a good
Boomers
movie.
everywhere are burning effigies of us right now.
They hate us.
Yeah.
I mean, sure.
All right.
I'm sure there's some that have the similar opinions as us.
Ready, guys?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Want to say bye?
Bye-bye.
It's never goodbye. It's I'll see you later.
Bye.
Till we meet again.
And we meet again.
Want to thank you all for listening to us. Want to give a big thank you to Tell 'em Steve Dave, letting us record in their studio. Come on down to Hazlitt, visit the store. Follow the show on all social media, Reviewing History Pod. @gmail.com. Send us an email. Rate and review the show on iTunes. It helps potential sponsors find the show. All social media, we're reviewing History Pod, RView History Pod on Twitter. Follow me on all social media at Brian Rupert. Follow me on Letterboxd. I rank and review every single movie I watch. Thank you all for listening. I will see you next time. Bye.